Do you think the days of the almighty US dollar ruling the world are numbered? If not, maybe you should, because Nigeria just made a move that could change the game forever. Africa's largest oil producer is shaking up global finance by ditching the US dollar and choosing to sell its crude oil in its own currency, the Naira. And what better timing than right before the upcoming BRICS Summit? Let's dive into why Nigeria made this bold decision, how it ties into the global efforts of the BRICS alliance to dethrone the US dollar, and what this means for you and the future of global finance. Chapter 1. The Shift to Naira. On October 1st, 2024, Nigeria's Federal Executive Council officially announced that the country would sell its crude oil in Naira, Africa's largest economy, making a historic move to break away from the Western financial grip. This wasn't a sudden decision, but a calculated one designed to stabilize the struggling Naira while challenging the dominance of the US dollar. Mohammed Manga, the Director of Information and Public Relations at Nigeria's Ministry of Finance, didn't hold back when revealing this news. He made it clear that this shift is not just about economics. It's about reclaiming political independence and resisting the financial manipulation that has come from decades of relying on Western systems. By choosing to sell crude oil in Naira, Nigeria is sending a strong message. They're taking control of their destiny and leading a charge for economic sovereignty in the global South. Chapter 2. Why Nigeria's timing is perfect. It's no coincidence that Nigeria's decision to ditch the dollar came right before the 2024 BRICS Summit. Russia will hold the BRICS Summit in Kazan from October 22nd to 24th, 2024. This strategic timing highlights Nigeria's growing alignment with BRICS, a coalition of nations including Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, committed to challenging the West's financial dominance. Since 2022, BRICS has openly discussed plans to de-dollarize their economies, and now Nigeria is stepping up as a proud ally in that mission. The idea behind the BRICS alliance isn't just to form another economic club, it's to create a new world order that benefits all its members equally. Chapter 3. Rising oil prices amid Middle East conflict. The recent conflict between Iran and Israel has sent global oil prices soaring. Nigeria's Bonny Light crude jumped from $73 to $78 per barrel, while the international benchmark, Brent crude, climbed to $79 per barrel, reflecting more than a 10% increase. Iran, a major oil producer, has reportedly fired nearly 200 missiles into Israel, intensifying the situation and contributing to the rise in oil prices. Nigeria's government set its 2024 budget based on a $78 per barrel benchmark, which means the current market prices are now hitting this target. If Nigeria can maintain its daily oil production levels, this could help reduce the country's budget deficit. Chapter 4. The Economic and Geopolitical Stakes. Nigeria's decision to trade its oil in Naira isn't only about stabilizing its local currency, it's a geopolitical move that challenges the US-led global financial system. With 37 billion barrels of proven oil reserves, accounting for 3.1% of the world's total reserves, Nigeria is one of the top 15 oil producers globally. It also holds the title for the 8th largest oil reserves and the 6th largest oil exports worldwide. These numbers are significant because they show that Nigeria has both the resources and the political will to influence global energy markets. This shift to local currency is also about avoiding the risks associated with the US dollar's volatility. By trading in Naira, Nigeria reduces its exposure to external pressures, signaling its readiness to play a bigger role on the world stage. Chapter 5. The dollar's decline. Let's not sugarcoat it. The US dollar has been on a slow decline for years. The over-reliance on a single currency, Western sanctions, and currency manipulation have all contributed to eroding trust in the greenback. Countries across the world are beginning to realize that they don't need to rely on the dollar as much as they once did. Nigeria's move is just the latest in a series of blows to the dollar's dominance. As more nations align with BRICS and adopt similar strategies, the future of the US dollar as the world's reserve currency seems more uncertain than ever. Chapter 6: How this affects global trade and the oil market. Oil has always been one of the most traded commodities in the world, and its trade has been dominated by the US dollar for decades. Nigeria's decision to sell its oil in Naira could set a precedent for other oil-producing nations, especially those looking to reduce their dependence on the dollar. If more countries follow Nigeria's lead, we could see a significant reshuffling in global trade dynamics. This move has the potential to weaken the petrodollar system that the US has relied on to maintain its economic dominance. And as BRICS continues to grow in influence, the pressure on other nations to adopt similar measures will only increase. Chapter 7: The Dark Side, Oil Theft and Corruption. However, rising oil prices alone won't solve all of Nigeria's problems. NGR Sani Yabagi, an energy expert, warns that corruption and rampant oil theft are major issues eating into Nigeria's profits. He explains that much of the country's crude oil revenue ends up in the hands of thieves, often connected to powerful individuals. Between August 24th and 30th, 2024, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation reported 188 oil theft incidents in the Niger Delta region. This level of theft significantly reduces the amount of oil Nigeria can sell, even when prices are favorable. Yabagi highlighted another challenge. Despite being a significant oil producer, Nigeria imports most of its refined petroleum products. This means the country often spends its hard-earned oil revenue on buying back refined products. Chapter 8: Dangote Refinery and Local Oil Sales. Nigeria recently took a step toward refining its crude oil locally with the opening of the Dangote Refinery. Although this is a positive move, it's a private venture, so its impact on national revenue remains limited for now. Recently, the Nigerian government began selling crude oil to Dangote and other local refineries in Naira, further reinforcing its decision to move away from dollar-based transactions. Yet Yabagi believes that selling crude to local refineries like Dangote at market prices won't significantly lower fuel costs. He noted, "Unless the government sells crude to local refineries like Dangote at a lower price, the impact on fuel prices will be small. For now, Dangote still buys crude from other countries too, because NNPC can't meet its full demand." With the ongoing crisis in the Middle East likely to drive energy costs even higher, there may be short-term gains for oil-producing countries like Nigeria, but Yabagi warns that without addressing deep-rooted issues like corruption, oil theft, and dependency on imports, Nigeria's potential to benefit could be limited. He added, "The rising costs of energy might hurt Nigeria more than it helps. We need to address corruption and imports. Otherwise, we won't see much improvement." Chapter 9: Potential Economic Benefits for Nigeria. Dr. Abdul Salam Muhammad Khani, another well-known economist, points out that if oil prices remain high and production levels stay consistent, Nigeria could find itself in a rare position to stabilize its economy. He said, "If the prices remain high and production stays consistent, Nigeria could see some relief in its debt servicing and public project funding." Increased revenue from oil sales could also strengthen the Naira, potentially reducing the costs of imported goods for Nigerians. A significant boost for a country that heavily relies on imports. For far too long, Africa and other regions in the global south have been treated as passive players on the world stage. They've been exploited for their resources and manipulated through financial dependency. By joining forces with BRICS, Nigeria is stepping into its role as a leader in the global south. This is about more than just oil or currency. It's about a new vision for the future, where countries have the power to shape their destinies on their own terms. Chapter 10: Is this the beginning of the end for the US dollar? While it's too early to declare the death of the dollar, it's clear that its dominance is being challenged in a way that hasn't been seen before. The rise of BRICS as a global economic powerhouse is accelerating this shift. Countries like China, Russia, and now Nigeria are openly defying the status quo, choosing economic systems that prioritize their own interests rather than those of Western powers. The question is no longer whether the dollar will lose its dominance, but how quickly this transition will happen. Chapter 11. BRICS Reshaping Global Finance. Nigeria's decision to ditch the dollar and embrace Naira for oil sales is a crucial piece of the puzzle in the rise of BRICS. For years, critics have dismissed BRICS as a loosely connected group of countries with no real influence. But today, as more nations adopt the BRICS model, it's clear that this alliance is not just reshaping the financial landscape, it's rewriting the rules entirely. This isn't just a temporary disruption, it's a lasting change that's going to impact global finance for generations to come. As Western economies scramble to maintain their influence, BRICS nations are building a new order that works for them, not against them. And Nigeria's bold move is a powerful testament to the fact that the future of global finance is no longer dictated by a few Western powers. So, what do you think? Is this the beginning of the end for the US dollar as a global reserve currency? Will more nations follow Nigeria's lead and join the BRICS revolution? And how do you see this shift affecting the global economy in the next few years? We'd love to hear your thoughts, so let us know in the comments section below. Don't forget to hit that like button if you found this content insightful. And if you're interested in staying updated on the latest developments in Africa's economy, geopolitics, and the rising influence of BRICS, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Tap that notification bell so you never miss an update.